social protection is one of the most effective tools governments can use to reduce poverty, inequality, and vulnerability. In the UN Framework for Sustainable Development Goals, social protection has been identified as a critical instrument to end poverty, promote good health and well-being, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, and reduce inequalities. However, without administrative and technical capacity, the development of affordable, sustainable, and inclusive social protection systems is prevented. With the introduction of the first ever Regional Transform Training of Trainers course, an innovative package on the administration of national social protection floors, African countries are embarking on building comprehensive social protection systems, building capacity, and accumulating knowledge through experience.
Knowledge is power, and as much as we can say, okay, yes, we want to do social protection, we want to roll out activities around social protection so that vulnerability and poverty is reduced. We cannot do it without knowledge, and that is why this Transform training is so important, so critical.
What we're trying to achieve with Transform is to help institutionalize social protection in the countries, and part of institutionalization is to develop the culture of social protection and research and learning in the countries. To do that, we need to move away from training that is ad hoc and delivered by those who are providing technical assistance to a more systematic way of learning.
The Transform Leadership and Transformation Learning Package is developed, managed, and facilitated by African experts and UN experts to directly address specific challenges of building and managing social protection floors in Africa. The principal objective of Transform is to build critical mindsets and capacities of policymakers and practitioners at national and decentralized levels in the African region to improve the governance and administration of social protection systems.
The way Transform is, it's about experiential kind of learning, whereas to begin with my academic background, most of the kind of learning that we are used to is more of teacher-centered, where you are the authority and imparting knowledge onto the others.
I think what works is that people come up with their own answers. I mean, there's the normal part of the curriculum where they gain new knowledge, but what creates the transformation is that as the discussions happen, as the activities unfold, people aren't being told the answers, they're actually generating their answers from within. And if somebody generates their own answer and their own action plan, they're so much more likely to A, believe the answer, and B, implement the action plan.
The first ever Regional Transform Training of Trainers course held in Zambia brought together 24 African social protection experts. The training was intended to produce the first batch of African Transform Master Trainers who would play a key role in rolling out the Transform Social Protection Learning Curriculum to several countries of Anglophone Africa. The regional master trainers are a good mix of social protection experts from government, academia, private sector, and the UN system from 10 African countries. Accredited regional trainers will allow for a cost-effective and context-sensitive delivery, replication, and adaptation of the Transform learning packages across the region.
We are all come together to share our experiences so that together we can move as one. So that's really impressed me. In the diverse of the number of people who have been pulled together from different countries, so that kind of a mixture of people is really important for sharing of experiences among ourselves as trainers.
So the kind of training we have undergone involves a lot of activities which creates an enabling environment for the participant actually to get engaged and in the process produce knowledge which tends to last long in terms of memory.
When I came into this Transform, I realized that there was really a need to unlearn certain things and deconstruct, where now I saw different people coming up with different ideas, and where the facilitators are just there to play a role of just, stimulating dialogue and the debate. So that was something that came in as a surprise, but in a way I realized that it provided more effective learning.
It's a very huge undertaking and a very huge responsibility to be able to effectively deliver as a trainer to an audience where you want to put across a certain message. So you should be able to do it in a way that enables continued engagement with the audience.
The Transform Learning Package is organized in a modular structure that reflects the key building blocks of a holistic and interdependent social protection system. There are 8 modules covering the following topics: legal frameworks, selection and identification, administration and delivery systems, coordination, governance, institutions and organizational structure, management information systems and approaches to data integration, financing and financial management, and monitoring and evaluation.
The fact that this course has broken down these different blocks that bring together social protection as a system has been very important. The way they have set up the material, together with the practical activities for each component of the learning that we had, was really perfect. It was real informing, it was real bringing enthusiasm among ourselves, and it brought a lot of points of realization that, I didn't know as much, I didn't know that much, that I'm connected to this ministry, or I'm connected to these stakeholders in my work. We do social protection work every day, but we fail to see those linkages of how do we relate with other parts of the social protection system.
All along, we have lacked a framework which explains what the constituent parts of social protection are. This training has now enabled me to understand the building components of the social protection framework, and I'm now in a position to look and identify the missing gaps within the work that we're doing in Lesotho, and this is real transformation for me.
We have a number of new programs in our country, and the capacity is somewhere not up to the level which is required to make the programs a success. So to have this program here will allow me to go back to my country and to roll over what I received this one to different stakeholders. In the end, we achieve the objective.
The Transform modules are covered in a 5-day introductory curriculum as well as an in-depth 3-day specialized curriculum. Transform has initially been developed for in-service class-based trainings, but an online version of the Transform Learning Package is also available.
One of the main emphasis of the Transform is leadership and transformation process. And that hasn't been very emphasized in my background to social protection. And although I've worked in relatively good positions of leadership prior to the Transform process, I think the exposure to the content of leadership and transformation has been a huge surprise, and a positive surprise, I must add.
Because sometimes we think that we're only able to influence change, influence decisions if we have a certain level of position that we hold. But we forget that even within the current positions that we hold, we have that potential to actually influence how people address the issues of social protection in line with mindset change.
Transform can be tailored to country contexts and cascaded efficiently to reach large numbers of social protection leaders and practitioners. The Transform modules can also be integrated into the permanent curricula of national universities, colleges, and TVET institutions. This work has already begun in Zambia, Ethiopia, and Tanzania.
African Union, which is the union of all African governments, they requested us if we could help develop a permanent African system for capacity development in social protection. And at the same time, the European Union, together with government of Finland and OECD and Germany, had decided that we'll try in this program to support the systematization of social protection capacity development. And this is what we are doing together with our best African partners and also with the good UN partners from ILO and UNICEF and UNDP, who are more permanently resident here in the countries than we are.
As you know, social protection is one of the areas actually that is growing very fast, especially in African countries, including also Tanzania. And we see now, with also this emerging, growing one of the areas in the country, but it's still capacity development of government staff and the people who can deliver this component actually is a bit lacking. So that's why actually this idea also came in terms of developing the curriculum that also will benefit the local Tanzanian people who can also work for the governments to boost up actually that capacity and also enhance actually the delivery of social protection in the country.
The curriculum for Transform and the curriculum for the university are two distinct curricula with very distinct focus as well. But what's important to note is that as distinct as the two are, they're both contributing to the same objective of developing capacity for the delivery of more effective social protection systems. They also have got huge potential for linkages in picking up some important aspects from the Transform curriculum and from the university curriculum and delivering them to individuals.
A number of governments in Eastern and Southern Africa have started the delivery of the Transform Learning Package at national and decentralized levels, and others are domesticating its contents to the capacity building needs of their respective countries. Arrangements are underway to make the Transform Social Protection Leadership Curriculum available for all Anglophone countries of Africa, subject to demand and co-financing. Translation of the Transform curriculum into Portuguese and French for use in Lusophone and Francophone countries in Africa is ongoing, and there are also ongoing discussions on creating Transform learning packages adapted to the Asian and Middle Eastern regions.
So training the staff in their mindset as well as in the tools and the systems to have an effective and efficient social protection system is very, very important.
Throughout the many years during which countries in Africa have developed their own approaches and solutions to social protection, technical understanding from practice is already available to the region. So what Transform is about is just to make that technical and understanding based on practice somehow speak to each other across different countries.
It is actually something that empowers government, and government, of course, means the people working in government. All of them have a place in Transform, and through the Transform package, they can find in the context of their own work, in the context of their own problem that they are facing, in the interest that they have from the problem that they are trying to solve the next day, they can find a world of resources.
It is now clear that social protection is a very good tool for poverty reduction in Africa in general. And therefore, if we train so many people in it, they have the capacity, they can lead their various country teams to develop country-specific social protection systems to address issues of poverty, vulnerability, and exclusion in various African countries.